Hello internet friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay or LiJo, and today we're going to be talking about the triggers of your fourth function and what that whole experience is like. So if you'd like to talk to me more about this subject or anything related to your cognitive journey, you can book a video session with me below on Snug. So here we go. So all of us have a fourth function, and that fourth function triggers a response in us that is very reactive. All right, so set the scene in your mind. You're driving a car. A little squirrel runs across the path in front of where you're driving. Your immediate reaction is to slam on the brakes because you don't want to hit the little squirrel. And by doing so, you get a little bit of a strain in your neck, but it's not over quite yet. You think your little buddy has crossed the road, and so you step on the gas again, but before you know it, he's cut back in the other direction and you just slam on the brakes all over again. Now your neck, it hurts even more. And that's what we're doing with our fourth function over and over again, because we inherently disrespect the very nature of how this fourth function, for whatever type you have, operates. If we don't correct the reaction, or at least are able to convince ourselves that reacting a certain way isn't real, that this problem isn't actually real, then we're gonna be stuck in the car with whiplash, hating on squirrels for the rest of our lives. Now, coming to a complete stop and letting the squirrel fully cross the road until you see it reach the other side, well, it's a sensible solution, right? But it requires us to do a few things. Number one, respect the nature of the function, aka the squirrel. In this case, it'd be respect the fact that squirrels may change their mind midway through crossing the street, and they may want to cut back the other way. AKA, we have to respect the objective nature of the situation in which things operate. And if you're not quite sure how to do this, you can always ask some people. Take a tribe consensus. Get some objective data. Say, hey, John, if a squirrel crosses in front of my car and I don't see it go to the other side, should I gun it? Or might he cross back in the other direction? Well, John might say, well, if you don't want to hit the squirrel, you might want to wait till you see it reach the other side, because yes, in fact, squirrels do often change their mind. And number two, you have to be aware of the fact that you are programmed to just inherently slam your foot on the gas. Like, if that's what your first function is doing, that's what you have to be aware of. So know your tendency, know what you are programmed to do. And so if you're programmed to, as soon as a squirrel disappears, hit the gas, know that that is what you are in a default state doing in particular situations. What's so funny about all of this is that the fourth function even triggers us after the event. The unconscious mind is so traumatized by what happened to it earlier, it'll come out and say things like, you guys realize how bad the squirrels are this week? I think I might not even get in a car again. Squirrels are just narcissistic assholes. It's just impossible to get from A to B anymore. But lastly, in summary, the most traumatizing and triggering thing about your fourth function is the fact that, well, all of the trauma that you go through, and actually you probably put the squirrels through, it's all fake. Listen, I'm not trying to gaslight your fourth function. I know that to you it feels very real, and that these situations that you have these reactions to over and over again feel very real, and that everyone or everything is out to get you, and all the squirrels are crossing in front of your path, and why does your neck hurt so bad? It's the stupid squirrels yet again. I know that it feels real, but the truth is that if it truly were real, then everyone would be having the same reaction to the same problem. It would be objectively trackable and objectively true. Now, is it true that people drive their cars and don't get whiplash from squirrels? Well, yes. Lots of people do that. Where's the problem coming from? And again, it's not a problem. It's just an imbalance in your cognitive perspective. You'll find that people are able to drive their cars just fine, and they can deal with the squirrels appropriately. But yet, all of the EJs and the IPs are trying to convince you that people are mean to them, and all of the IJs and EPs have a problem with some kind of device that has malfunctioned on them all of a sudden, and it's the end of the world. They seem so real. The problems, they seem so real. And as an IJ, I would like you to know that there is no reason why any individual person should have to own a printer. I will not allow a printer in the same area as me. Burn it. What are you, making copies for a 5th grade class? Why would you let an actual demon inside of your house? Anyway, know your tendencies. Watch the patterns in your reactions to things that is actually causing you the pain. We all want to blame the squirrel because it couldn't possibly be us. What are you reacting to? What is the pain you're taking on? Because you don't have to take that on. That is the beautiful thing about this. On a real note, I've really been trying to practice this myself over the past few years. it really comes from awareness first, because at the end of the day, your first function is always going to be your first function. You're always going to be doubling down on it. You're always going to be doing your fourth function last. Listen, we can't change the way our brain is programmed and wired to make thoughts and make decisions. But what we can do is realize when a default program is running and that you are in a reactionary state, hold back the rest of the reactions as a sequence, right? So instead of slamming on the brakes 10 times in a row, you can slam on the brakes once, realize what you're doing, be aware of what you're doing, and say, I'm gonna let the squirrel cross. I'm gonna stop scaring squirrels today. Hashtag I stand with the squirrels. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in my next one. Goodbye, internet friends.